Greetings to all of you pirates on the high seas out there. Duuz-Diz-Din, back at it again, with One Piece. Last time, the stellar main body of Vegapunk has mysteriously gone missing, and so the Straw Hats and the Vegapunks have split up to go searching. Luffy and Zoro have remained with Shaka, mostly to keep them out of trouble and to guard Kaku and Rob Lucci. But Shaka has noticed that an unknown figure is destroying the cameras throughout the laboratory. Nami and Brook have gone with Edison, with Nami stumbling upon some artificially made diamonds. Naturally, she wants them. Chopper and Robin have gone with Atlas, coming upon artificially grown organs. Sanji and Jinbei have gone with Stussy, with Sanji, of course, fawning over Stussy. And Usopp and Frankie have gone with Lilith and York. That group come upon Pythagoras' body, as well as his head, who managed to escape the explosion. As it turns out, someone has turned the Seraphim against our heroes, with York being turned to stone by S-Snake, who attacks Usopp and the gang. S-Bear and S-Hawk have gone after Luffy's group, with Shaka believing that it would take a Vegapunk to have set the Seraphim upon them, and thus there is a traitor among us. It's then that Lucci and Kaku awaken. Knowing that the Seraphim seem to be after them specifically, they propose a temporary alliance with Luffy and Zoro, if only just to save their own skin. Luffy and Zoro aren't really down with just letting them die, especially bound, and at the very least they might hopefully get to the bottom of what's going on. It's the enemy of my enemy is my friend, for now. But will this alliance of convenience expose the traitor, or will it prove to be their undoing? Join me as I find out, won't you? I am digging this cover spread. I love when Oda gets fashionable with his cover spreads, and it all looks like stuff out of a magazine. Everybody looking good, Nami looking cute in bed with Chopper. It's adorable. We pick up in the surveillance lab, with Shaka, Luffy, Lucci, Kaku, and Zoro standing off against S-Hawk and S-Bear. Zoro says, "If we take off your handcuffs so you can fight, I can't possibly see you submitting to them again." Kaku says, "No, that's just not true. Once we're clear of the present danger, we'll play nice and go right back in the cuffs." And Kaku says it with such a menacing look in his eyes. And Luffy just says, "Nice. Nice sounds good to me." And Zoro full on just bonks his head against Luffy, saying he's lying. He's obviously lying. Oh, this is chapter 1076, Old Friend. It's S-Hawk who makes the first move, going in on them. Oh, okay. At first I thought he was using a Rokushiki technique, because he moves his leg with a swinging motion, and it's like a cut goes flying out, like a flying strike that Zoro would normally do. But Zoro notices that his leg has turned into a blade, with Zoro saying, "Was that the power of the dice fruit? People had it down right, yeah." We were wondering what ability he had, because it's obviously had the green blood and everything. And since Logia abilities are too hard to replicate in full, outside of just producing like a laser beam or a flamethrower, and zone fruits, Vegapunk can pull it off, but it's never completely perfect replication. Paramecias are the easiest to replicate, but Mihawk doesn't have a Paramecia fruit or any devil fruit to speak of. But what's the one devil fruit that makes the most sense? And Vegapunk would be able to get the DNA in order to give it to one of the Seraphim? Daz Bones' dice abilities. It all connects. Everyone was calling it. It was easy to believe. Confirmation, good to go. But as Zoro dodges out of the way of the attack, taking Kaku with him, Kaku says, "See, Roronoa? Are you going to lug us around every time we need saving like this?" Shaka then says, "May I ask, what mission brings you here, CP0? And Lucci, without missing a beat, just says, "The assassination of the 7 Vegapunks," glaring at Shaka. Kaku saying, "Not to his face, Lucci, come on." It's very apparent why Hattori was the one who usually spoke for Lucci back at Water 7, because it's just like, Lucci would just come right out and say what they're up to. Shaka then says, "And I presume that you've got something in store for Sussy as well after she betrayed you." Lucci also then says with a glare, "Yes, she will pay the price." Kaku then shouts at Lucci, for the love of... Are you trying to ruin this for us? Lucci's like Luffy, but in a completely different capacity. You then hear screaming from outside of the surveillance room. Zoro says, that scream was Nami. I bet all 4 of them are raising hell in here. How many people we gotta protect on top of the Vegapunks? And there it is. See, I said it towards the beginning of things. It's just like, the real problem is they have to protect a lot of people. That's going to be the real struggle. I just thought it would be protecting them against CP0. I didn't think the Seraphim would be the real issue here. Zoro says how many people we gotta protect on top of the Vegapunks. Luffy says helmet, cuff keys. Shaka tosses them to Luffy saying, I'll let you make that call. Just be sure you protect the Stella. Luffy says, after we stopped all 4 of them, you better not go after my friends in the Vegapunks. Just because you can't beat me in a fight, got that? Wow. Luffy outright calling out Lucci, with Zoro saying, don't be stupid, these guys aren't gonna take that bait. But Lucci incensed says, that's just fine with me. You're the one I mean to kill before anyone else, Straw Hat. And once you're out of the picture, know that all your friends will be dead soon after. Lucci, buddy, come on. Zoro's shocked. He took the bait? Luffy knows how to get under people's skin sometimes. If there's one thing Luffy is good at, it's reading people to a certain extent. But the S-Bear prepares an attack. It looks like the Ursa shock. Yep, sure enough, he sends out the blast. But we see the handcuffs of Kaku and Lucci fall. And as the shock emanates throughout the lab, destroying the roof off of the place, you see Luffy go to Gear 4, about to unleash one of his gum attacks, with the S-Bear noticing a little too late. I have to assume that because he used Gear 5 already, he's not able to just bounce right into it. He's only able to get to Gear 4. See, I like that because it shows that, yes, he can immediately go into Gear 5 and duke it out, maybe get the job done. But if something else comes up later down the line, it's just like, I can't quite go that far right now. But before Luffy attacks, he says, sorry, Bonnie. He remembered her name. He actually remembered Bonnie's name. Oh my goodness. But we got a team-up attack. Luffy going in with his Kong gun, and Lucci striking with a 6 King pistol. Meanwhile, against the S-Hawk, Kaku goes in with Tempest Kick. White Thunder, with Zoro going in with Purgatory Onigiri. So badass. I'm gonna love seeing that animated. But with those 2 strikes individually, and you think S-Hawk would have been cut in half, but no. Both S-Bear and S-Hawk are sent flying back through the lab, through several walls. Oh, okay. And go back to the inside of the lab, with the CP agents all locked up, with them saying, please give us food. It's been 2 months without a real bite to eat. Will we ever get out, or will we die here? And we see World Government Intelligence Agencies CP5, CP7, and CP8. Jeez. The men say, we came to investigate Egghead 2 months ago, and we were just about to leave the island when the Sea Beast weapons attacked and drove us back here. Then the other Cyberpoles who came to look into our disappearances ended up in the exact same situation. Well, forgive us if we assume that you were the one behind this. Dr. Vegapunk. And we see that Vegapunk has been handcuffed and he's bleeding from his head. How did this happen? Vegapunk says, sorry, I had no idea. To think that all of this was happening on Egghead right under my nose. That means trouble. And it explains one other thing. There shouldn't have been any way for the government to find out about the poneglyph research happening here. There we go. Like, I was wondering, it's just like, wouldn't Vegapunk know? Okay, we all assumed that the CP agents coming in were there to assassinate Vegapunk. But no. Yeah, they were there to investigate, but they weren't there to do anything. But you can't have 3 whole divisions of Cyberpol just go missing with no repercussion. So the government must have been like, okay, Vegapunk, he's up to something. Maybe it's time to... He's got a lot of powerful stuff going on. So that's what this is all about. It was so easy to jump to one conclusion, and that's even the conclusion that Vegapunk came to, but that wasn't it at all. But who's been setting this all up? And why? The only person we could see maybe doing that would be Lilith, because she's pillaged other ships. But to what end? Why do all of this? I mean, it would put the main body at such major danger, or maybe that was the goal. We then hear radio reports. Base G9 has left port. That puts the total fleet heading for Egghead at over 100 ships in total. Roger that. Ooh, boy. Whoa. Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting this. We pick up on an island in the New World, in a bar at a little port along the coast. And it's so obvious where this is. With the kid saying, take me with you. And Shank saying, I don't take hot-headed little kids on board with me. Nice try, Squirt. Man, this is familiar. With the kids sulking at the bar and the bartender saying, learn when to give up, hon. You're going to upset our captains. With the kids saying, I don't care, I want to sail with him. And we see Rockstar enter the bar saying, hey, Captain, he actually attacked us. The young fellows are squabbling now. What do we do? This is bound to turn into a fight. And we see a lone man with one arm finish a big old thing of sake, saying, can't tell if his timing's the best or worst, just when we were about to sail too. Shanks stands up saying, think I spent a bit too much time talking, but you can't blame us for wanting to catch up when old friends who thought each other dead are reunited. Beckman says our enemy must be furious. Lucky Rose says, that's rich coming from you, Beck. Who do you think he's mad at? It has to be Kid. Was Beckman the one who took Kid's arm? Oh, snap. Shanks says, we sail. Well, Yassep says, are we fighting, Captain? And the kid at the bar says, is there going to be a war, Shank? Shanks says, I won't let this island be a battleground. Well, the bartender says, ooh, what a stud. Is that who I think it is? Oh, dude, I see the silhouettes. I'm ready for it. Oh, no. It's like, I thought Lucy and the others would be here when we first saw this. Oh man. Shank says, I don't want to see major harm come to this place. Will you help me with that? And he even says it, Dory and Brogy. And we see, sure enough, Dory, Brogy, as well as Oimon and Kashin with the red-haired pirates. This is Elbath, land of proud warriors. Brogy says, gabba, 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 gabba. Sure thing, brother. Well, Dory says, yag, 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 yag. You're gonna fight Red Hair! And we see the red-haired pirates ready to head on out. As Shank says, before we leave, I need you to go ask something. Rockstar says, from Captain Kidd, sir? What is it? Shank says, yeah, send this message. Do you want to fight me here and now? Or leave your road poneglyph and flee? Make your choice. Oh, yeah. Damn. It's just like, kid, you want that smoke again? You gotta get that smoke again. Oh, snap. And we see the port, Warland, Elbath, New World. And I guess we have Killer telling Kid, seems the ships along the shore and the ones lazily shooting at us all belong to pirate crews working for Red Hair, the Emperor. Oh, so his entire fleet is here. Each one of them is known and feared. And you have Kid holding where his arm used to be, holding his metal arm. As Killer says, the last time, we never even got an audience with Red Hair himself. Instead, we got beaten to a pulp, and you lost your arm. Yeah, so Beckman was the one who took Kid's arm. He didn't even meet Shank. Dang. And as Shanks heads off, we see a whole bunch of people waiting outside for him. A few people hugging him, saying, stay away from them. It's the captain. We've been dying to see you, Captain. And you, Beckman, we wanted to pay our tribute. And I guess Shank says, you know we don't do that. Killer tells Kid they won't stop at an arm this time. They'll take your life. And Kid just smiles, saying, ha ha ha, maybe so, but only if I lose. Kid, that's what I like about you. You're a tenacious son of a bitch. I know we're on break next week, which is a bummer. See, the question now is, if Luffy could come back and take on Kaido? Will Kid prove himself by taking on Shanks? Is he good enough? Has he grown strong enough? Because while the red-haired pirates are a little bit more merciful, we know that they will play for keeps when push comes to shove. They'll take a life if it comes right down to it, especially against, Kid, who's part of a more savage crew. I'm so fascinated. I don't want Kid to lose, because we've been waiting for him to be really built up. He's supposed to be Luffy's rival. But I also don't want Law to lose going up against Blackbeard, because he's also supposed to be Luffy's rival. And for them to just have left Wano, encountered emperors, and then immediately got mollywopped after taking down Big Mom is just like, come on now. But at the same time, it's hard to say that they just win outright. Because let's be real, the fight against Kaido wasn't just a one-sided affair. A lot of people had to come together to take down Kaido and his crew. It took a double team to take down Big Mom. It took Luffy so many tries to take down Kaido. It wasn't a one-and-done battle at all. And both Law and Kid are encountering two heavy hitters right now. And it's really hard to at best-case scenario, they get out of there. But for Law, it feels more of like a situation where they might be able to run, but Kid, he's too stubborn to run from something like this. I don't know. I also just love the parallel situation. Another port, another Kid, another bar, and the red-haired pirates being influential. Like, some things just don't change. The same wherever you go. Not to mention, Vegapunk being locked up with the other Cypher Poles. All these Cypher Poles being captured under Vegapunk's watch. It's like someone was trying to get Vegapunk in trouble. But why? To what end? I'm so stumped by this. Like, where is this all going? I'm so perplexed. And the other question is, ultimately, it's obvious Luffy could handle Lucci when push comes to shove. I mean, even if Lucci was more of a challenge, he would still go all out against Lucci no matter what. It's still cool to see them working together, but if they're not behind the Seraphim, who's pulling all of this? I'm so perplexed. Well, ultimately, we have a situation where Lucci notices this was all a misunderstanding. Vegapunk hadn't actually turned on the world government as far as he knows. It's a setup. I mean, it's all great and everything that Lucci took the bait, but, that won't stop Kaku from trying something. And we know how crafty Lucci can be. So how do we know this isn't just an act to play Luffy, too? I mean, if he sees an opportunity to go at someone else, he'll take it. We've already seen that with Sentomaru. And I have to assume that the S-Shark went after Nami's group, because that's the only other Seraphim we're aware of in the building, unless there's more. There could be more. Still waiting on that S-Gecko and S-Flamingo, also with Paramecia abilities. I'm fascinated. There's so many questions. There's so many interesting angles. I'm so ready to see where this goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What's gonna happen next? How will this alliance of Luffy, Zoro, Kaku, and Lucci work out? Who's commanding the Seraphim? What danger has Nami encountered? Is it the S-Shark? What about Usopp and the gang's group with S-Snake? What happened to Caribou? Who's going around capturing CP agents, basically framing Vegapunk? Why? To what end? And with both Kid going up against the Yonko as well as Law, will they be able to make it out on top? Again, they're supposed to be Luffy's rivals, so by all accounts, they should at least get to a stalemate. And it's just like, whichever way this goes, I don't know. I feel like the fandom will be in an uproar about this. Kid and Law lose, it's just like, oh damn, they weren't really much of anything anyway. But if Blackbeard and Shanks lose, then, really, they lost. Because a lot of people are really hyping up those characters. I'm really wondering how Oda is going to manage this fine line. And I definitely want to hear your thoughts. So again, let me know in the comments. Also remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. And until then, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. And I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.